There were three developments that preceded the 7th of October, which forced the resistance to respond with jihad. The first development was the global marginalization of the Palestinian issue. There was no talk about the Palestinians, nor were there any international resolutions or conferences.
While Ismail Haniyeh is no longer with us, the events that unfolded since his speech have proven him right.
I think there is some truth to the fact that there was less attention on the Palestinian issue internationally and probably even regionally before the October 7th attacks. At that time, there was a significant focus on trying to advance regional integration, expanding the Abraham Accords, expanding the Negev Forum, which I was working on at the State Department at the time, working toward normalization between Israel and Saudi Arabia.
Palestinian cause is always in the table. It's not because Hamas, they bring it. Always in the table. When we talk about normalization with Israel, between Arab and Israel, it's always in the table.
It may have always been on the table, but it was never as central or vocal as it is in today's global discourse. From Boston to Berlin, from Mexico City to Melbourne, pro-Palestinian protests occupied the streets of major cities around the world. And the anti-Israel and anti-Semitic rhetoric rose to new heights, along with a massive surge in deadly violence against Jews.
There are plenty of anti-Semitic elements within the protesters, including on U.S. college campuses, behind them, and of course in European capitals and elsewhere. We should be mindful of that, and we should not accept that as a sort of a legitimate contribution to this discussion.
There are leftists, there are Muslim Brotherhoods, there are all of them radicals. They have problems, psychopaths. But if you ask them about the details of the conflict in Middle East, they don't know anything. They are ignorant. They don't know the history. They don't know about what's happening. They even not recognize 7 October happened. They think about it in conspiracy theory methods.
As the pro-Palestine movement gained momentum, Israel became increasingly isolated. In arts, sports, and academia, Israelis became personas non grata, and Jews had to condemn Israel just to be included. But that was all setting the stage for what would happen next.
The United Kingdom formally recognizes the State of Palestine.
I declare that France today recognizes the State of Palestine.
In a sweeping move, some claim to be prompted by domestic pressures, more than 10 countries joined the call. And Hamas, who welcomed the announcements, claimed that the wave of recognition of a Palestinian state was, quote, one of the fruits of October 7th.
There is no doubt that these successive recognitions are the beginning of a step in the right direction. It is true that it is a step that came late, very late, but it is the result of the Palestinian people's resistance and steadfastness over decades.
I think the recognition announcements of a state of Palestine by France, the UK, Canada, Australia, and others were misguided. I think they were looking for a way to show that they were trying to address this issue. But the big problem and the big challenge with the way they have done it is that it does run the risk of being seen as a reward to Hamas for October 7th.
The recognition of Palestinian states, there is a condition of Hamas should lift Gaza. Hamas should lift the power. Hamas should be out the political scene, Palestinian political scene. Is this reward for Hamas? It's not. It's a reward for the Palestinian people and the Israeli people to recognize it.
There is no doubt that the October 7th attacks brought the Palestinian issue and a Palestinian state to the forefront of the global discourse. But what will that state look like? What are its borders? And what effect will its potential establishment have on the issue of refugees?
If there will be a Palestinian state at some point, it will take longer than envisioned back when I was working on these issues in government. It will look different than the model, I think, assumed by many who worked on the Oslo Accords and the negotiations in the years that followed. It's going to take longer. It's going to look different.
In the wake of the wave of recognition for Palestinian statehood, PA President Mahmoud Abbas outlined a series of sweeping reforms to address long-standing criticism. Among these steps, vowing that any future Palestinian state would be demilitarized, Hamas would be excluded from the political process as long as it is armed, an overhaul of the curriculum in the Palestinian education system, and an end to the notorious pay-for-slay policy.
I think Saudi Arabia, before 7 October, they said in Washington, two-state solution should be on the table. If Israel wants us to normalize the relation, they should recognize the two-state solution. They should accept it. It's not the effect of 7 October. 7 October speed the process of two-state solution to become on the table more solid.
I don't share the view that these recognitions are expediting a resolution to the conflict. I think that will only come, first of all, through some sort of negotiation, but also while taking into account and ultimately addressing the very legitimate fears and concerns of the Israeli public. After October 7th, even many Israelis who have long supported a two-state solution, the establishment of a Palestinian state, do not currently believe that is possible or viable or safe for their families.
While a Palestinian state may not be viable in the near future, there is one significant development that has already occurred and one that Hamas likely did not expect. A global and Arab consensus that Hamas must disarm and that it will have no future role in Gaza.
Hamas lost the war, even when they said, okay, we bring the Palestinian case to the world. All of the world said, throw Hamas outside Gaza. Even in that resolution, when they agreed, they said, we agree to state solutions without Hamas. Who lost? In the end, nobody will recognize Hamas in the future, and they know they lost the game.
Even before October 7th, 3 out of every 4 countries around the world already recognized the Palestinian state. But that hasn't brought it any closer to realization. And this latest wave of recognition isn't likely to change that. Meanwhile, as the Palestinian issue has become more prominent over the past 2 years, Israel and Jews worldwide have become more ostracized and increasingly targeted. Once the war ends, there is hope that this trend will subside. But for many Israelis and Jews, the damage is already done, and its effects will likely remain even after the dust settles in Gaza.